Okay, so this is Narcogen and Blackstar from RampageNet back, and we're looking at the E3 2014 trailer for Destiny by Bungie, coming out later this year. This one's called New Beginnings. And yeah, early on I really get the sense of the like the map that was in Time Bandits, showing all the holes in the world that you could navigate to.
Yeah, it's very real-timey. I think they're trying to show you the different structures and where the setting is supposed to be, and graphically show the expansion of us through the stars, and it's all cute.
Yeah, and also we're not listening to the audio now, but there were a couple things I thought were interesting in this. Is that
it's Lord Frith.
yeah, exactly.
Lord Frith into the world. Come here,
they did kind of state explicitly a couple things that I think they had kind of only not quite suggested or hinted at, but they kind of inferred. One was the idea that the Traveler seems to be directly responsible for the golden age of humanity.
It's Guilty Spark. I mean, Bit. I mean, who is that?
It's Tyrion Lannister.
Yeah,
is what it is. And Lannisters always pay their debts. But the second is that the enemies that come, which here they talk about just as the darkness. They don't. I don't know whether that's like the Covenant is in like the collection of all the enemy races are the darkness, or whether the darkness is something else like the Warkakner.
Dark, bad, light, good.
Yeah, but the idea that like these enemies are not coming for humanity; they're coming for the Traveler. So, in a way, you could see it that like the Traveler flees something and recruits humanity to be its defense force by bribing it with, with advanced technology.
Maybe. I'll have to check on the details.
I don't know. Maybe I'm hoping for too much depth there by looking for those kinds of reversals. Maybe it is going to be just another straight-up heroic space opera type thing with no, like all those people who wanted Cortana to be secretly evil.
Yep. Big spaceships, good.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's a little weird with the speeder bikes being built in real time. That's kind of odd.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to look at that more as a gameplay mechanic. They obviously want weapons and vehicles to be personalized.
Oh, look, it's a brute with a fill of brush.
Yeah. Flying brutes with jetpack.
Beach, chest, monkey.
But in order for your weapons and vehicles to be personalized, the game has to help you keep track of it. Because, you lose so many warthogs through, playing Halo. You can't get attached. Oh, the world not.
No, a little myth in there.
The world not from myth there.
Cloaking device, a little Trekkie, spaceships, more spaceships. Nobody's actually come up with a spaceship that doesn't have flames shooting out its butt. You notice that?
Well, it's the visual language for speed.
Didn't have it in Star Trek. More brutes, flying brutes. And of course the bug tank, which I really, really want to pilot and already can't, so that's disappointing.
Who knows? Maybe there'll be something like it.
We hope so.
Like I said, because vehicles want to be personal, I don't think you'd expect to want to hijack something and then get, anything in the game as your personal vehicle. That kind of upsets the balance for things like multiplayer, or even just for co-op.
Well,
if somebody's
you're also spending all your time worried about where you park. I mean, if you come back to it and somebody's either exploded or destroyed it. So
I think the teleportation is the game's way of taking that responsibility away from you, so that you don't have to worry about it.
It didn't beam in. It looked like it was being constructed, and I'm wondering.
I think you may be taking that visual language too far.
Maybe?
I think just the idea basically is that you will be able to summon a vehicle, maybe not wherever you want one, but on demand, which tells me that just because you park a vehicle somewhere doesn't mean you're going to have to go back to it there. I get the idea is that like they'll be instanced for places when you need them. You will then have a travel sequence where you go somewhere and have some gameplay, sequences along that journey, and then you'll put it away. You'll like fold it up like the Jetsons car, So you'll always be able to get it back, and it'll always be yours. And it won't be like playing GTA when you steal a car and you really like it, and then the story it puts you in another vehicle and you lose track of it. And if it's your car, somehow it magically gets home, and if it's not, then it's lost forever. Or like a warthog, which is they're all identical and interchangeable and indestructible, and if you lose it, you lose it, and that's it.
And none have fuzzy dice. Oh, here's Guilty Spark again. Yeah, I'm wondering how that's gonna play out.
I see. I don't know. I like Peter Dinklage's voice acting so much that the fact that yes, it's another Guilty Spark doesn't bother me in the least. I mean, Bungie reuses all kinds of thematic and visual elements over and over again. But I have to admit,
recycling.
A lot of this also looks very, very new. I could easily see that.
Come on, that triple door has been in everything.
Sure, I mean, but it still also looks very different. And the thing coming out of the door is. The thing coming out of the door is tall enough that you actually need a door that big for it, which I appreciate, given that Halo had lots of big doors and nothing that big.
Now, didn't that mechanical thing look exactly like the electric display for the world in Halo in the map room?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure it did.
And it also reminds me of that big device in Dark Crystal. You know, the Great Conjunction comes.
The orrery. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And big nasty spaceships coming.
But still, like there's a variety in the ships and the creatures here that just wouldn't have fit in Halo because the visual language for the Covenant and their stuff was set. You notice that even each race in the Covenant doesn't have its own complete visual language for weaponry and vehicles. Only some of them.
Right.
Like the elites have their stuff, and then later on the brutes got some stuff, but a lot of them just never got anything beyond their own character design.
How come they never have any tiny enemies that are like a foot tall, where we're like the giants, and yet they have like a million of them, you know, where little armies and whatnot can fit within a block.
Halo 4 has crawlers. They're pretty short. Shorter than grunts anyway.
Well, this is true, but I always saw them as being more mechanical. Those are more devices as opposed to actual living beings. But after a while, yeah, you do get kind of fed up with the large and small scale bipeds, and even the robots here, they're all bipeds. It's bipeds doing
that's your
things.
That's your bone to chew on.
Totally,
It doesn't bother me at all. Yes, other variety would be nice, but I think the problem basically with that is that
6 legs. Fair's
is
fair.
that if it doesn't talk and it doesn't walk, then gamers and moviegoers perceive something as an animal.
Yeah, which is
and so that's the problem. Well, but that's the problem you face. If you're gonna, I think if you were gonna have an exploration RPG type thing, then definitely should. And if you actually look at Mass Effect, you know, a lot of things in Mass Effect are also bipedal. You know, at least vaguely, but there are a few that are not. You know, there are jellyfish creatures, and there are giant spiders and whatnot, and. So there is more variety, but you also have a more variety of interaction in that there are some things you can choose not to shoot at, and there are things that you can just talk to.
I love how they find new and interesting ways to actually just open a door.
Yeah. Bungie's obviously still going for the action route here.
Yeah, I got big Halo vibes through this whole thing.
Oh, sure. But what I'm hoping for is from the co-op is kind of what like Luke Smith was talking about in his forum post the other day about activities, and that it won't be just like replaying a Halo level co-op where the bookends, the cutscenes at the beginning and end are always the same, and so you're always replaying the same part of the same story, and the only thing that varies is how many things you shoot in what order from what position. Is that there are going to be conflicts ongoing in all of these locations with ebb and flow to them, and that even if you're doing the same kind of thing that you were doing yesterday, it's not like you're replaying the same level, like it's not like the story events in the world are being repeated, like you've hit the rewind and played it over.
Right.
It's ongoing. I kind of like that idea. It can trip it up, like World of Warcraft with its respawning bosses, I think kind of bugs me. The idea that you defeat a named character that's really important, and then, in a couple of days it comes back.
Yeah, I just noticed Guilty Spark actually blinked. Why does he have to blink?
Because again, it's a visual shorthand for
it's really a person. It's
being exactly for being a person. You're anthropomorphizing.
It is. Well, see, they anthropomorphize it by putting it in there. They want us to perceive it as something besides something mechanical, I guess. Yeah, Big and Nasties want to take over everything for no readily apparent reason. Yeah, the whole light dark thing though, I think was kind of really overplayed. Everybody's done that. Nobody has the light dark and gray. Nobody has the ambiguous. Nobody has the rainbow coalition.
I think they're trying to hide. They're trying to hide the nature of the thing.
Very black and white.
think they. Also, who knows? Maybe they are going to go for a reversal at some point, in that, this is the Traveler or an aspect of the Traveler talking to you. So it's framing things the way it wants you to see them. I'm the good guy, they're the bad guy.
Says who?
And again, you know, maybe that won't. Maybe they'll turn out to be slightly more to it than that.
Maybe we want to say greetings to our new overlords, you know? I mean...
You know, I did play through all of Gears of War hoping that, you know, people would eventually realize that humanity was the bad guy in that show, that they were the alien invaders, but they backed off of that or either never was going there in the first place.
Oh,
which
no.
is too bad.
Don't want to have moral ambiguity.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, so the news here is that, and you know what? I'm wondering if PlayStation fans are just maybe kinder, gentler people, because I've seen so much hatred at Bungie, not just over the Marty thing, because a lot of people are upset that Marty won't be. It looks very much like Marty will not be doing any more music for any more Bungie games, I guess. But the fact that Microsoft is not participating in the promotion of Destiny a lot, and Sony PlayStation players are getting exclusive content, and they're getting some early alpha access for a few days this month before the public beta in July, and you know, people who have, guys, committed to Xbox either already or are planning to are feeling that, you know, Bungie's not treating its fan base well. Personally, I happen to think that, you know, as a sci-fi shooter with an online component, it's hard probably for Microsoft to perceive Destiny as being anything other than a threat to Halo.
Yeah.
And whatever the fee or the revenue sharing structure is for, you know, putting out a game on a platform, I'm sure that Microsoft gets more cash out of one copy of Halo 4 than they'll get out of one copy of Destiny.
Probably. And any advertising that they do is also going to be advertising for the game itself, not their system with their own title. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anything that they put out, people are going to say, "Oh, I'm just going to get that on the PS4."
Yeah. So long term, they decided what they were investing in was the Halo franchise, not the Bungie studio.
Right. Exactly.
Bungie's now independent, and they're doing other stuff now. And I think if it becomes a big seller on the Xbox anyway, then I think Microsoft will probably come in and equalize off some of these things a little bit. It would be in their interest to do so. But right now, the game's not out yet. They probably figure, hey, it's better for us to invest in the thing that we own, and the thing that they know. You know, they probably feel that that Halo is a proven seller. And probably will still continue to be, just like Call of Duty is also a proven seller.
Right.
So they're putting their investment dollars there.
Keep in mind, this is also Bungie's first foray into the PS4 land, so they've got to not only bring attention to themselves and the title and what they can do, but also to say, hey, we do care about you guys. We do want to invest in this particular platform as well, because for Bungie, they can sell it on as many things as they want, and that's good for them. But this is the first time that they've done it. You know, Bungie is a complete unknown as far as PS4 people go, so they need to do something. You know what I mean? So
it's also familiarity, right? I mean, all of the people who had PS2s and 3s and are either going, getting PS4s or are going to.
Yeah, they weren't playing Marathon and Myth on them, so
Halo is just that game that Killzone killed.
Right.
You know, I mean, as far as they know. So,
exactly.
They probably want to see, what's the big deal? Is Bungie really as good as, Xbox fans?
Yeah. And are they going to be around? Are they going to support this thing? Are they going to be, continuing on the IP with that particular platform? Is this just a test?
Maybe if I had already bought an Xbox One, I would feel a little bit differently about it. But sticking with 360 for now and not having decided what comes next, it doesn't really hurt me one way or the other that Microsoft isn't slapping its logo on promotional videos for Destiny.
It doesn't chap me at all either. So for them, that's just fanboydom. But yeah, it's to me. I see it as an expansion, not an ignoring. Do you know what I mean? It's introducing a new group and not trying to shun the original,
Well, yeah, but it's the exclusive stuff. Like, exclusive DLC bothers a lot of people. I mean, it doesn't really bug me, but I guess there's going to be like at least one gameplay mode called Mars Strike that I guess is going to be a PS4 exclusive.
Is that due to technology or just because they didn't want to bother writing it?
No, I think it's just an exclusive thing. I mean, I think it's a game mode. I don't even know that it's going to be a complete level. I don't think it's going to be like a whole geography that you can't play. It may just be a particular combination of objectives, enemies, weapons, and geography that, is unique. But you could make new combinations all the time. I have a feeling they've probably specifically designed this whole thing so that just like they used to vary multiplayer playlists, they're going to be able to mix and match things to make new encounters in similar environments, so that you can keep the thing new for years while you wait for the next game to come out, without having to push out big, try to do whole campaign level type things. All right, so anyway, so that's that's
read,
the
and
E3
I don't know if this is true or
2014
confirmed, or maybe it's a
Bungie,
little
and
inaccurate.
there's
But
gonna
there
be
actually
some more
was
stuff in
a
the
statement
Sony
by
press
someone at
conference,
Bungie that said that
hopefully including some more gameplay.
cooperative
So,
play
maybe we'll be back to talk about
on
that
the
when that comes out.
Xbox will not require gold. Now they were talking about the competitive multiplayer, just like Halo multiplayer, would require gold. But Halo online multiplayer, didn't matter whether it was co-op or competitive, always required gold. Yeah, that somehow that they were going to allow through silver accounts this kind of thing where public events or drop in, drop out by other players who happen to be doing a similar activity to you in a public zone, that would not require gold the way gold is required if you want to co-op a Halo 3 level. So that's interesting, because what that said to me was that Bungie felt that co-op was so important to their game that it's in all phases of the single-player aspect, and that Microsoft thinks it's so unimportant that they're like, have it for free, who cares? Yeah.
But it's not just buying the consoles, right? Because if you're into the competitive multiplayer aspect, then you're paying for services as well, right? You're paying for the Sony service as well as the Xbox service.
Right.
All right. So anyway, so that's the E3 trailer for 2014 for Bungie, and there's gonna be some more stuff in the Sony press conference, hopefully including some more gameplay. So maybe we'll be back to talk about that when that comes out.
Great. See you guys then. Thanks for watching.